I am Jo from Jo's Paradise of Colour. In today's video, it is the second part for spinning Supercoil 2 ways. So, in the first video I shared making the bat, and then I spun 2 minis, one as a single ply and the other as a Corespun with auto wrap. So if you haven't seen that one, go and have a look back over it after this video. If you did watch it and you made yours and you want to finish yours off with me, you're more than welcome. And to start off, I'm going to spin up the single ply. This is to share 2 different ways of making a Supercoil. One is the non-traditional way, which is the first one, which is single ply. The reason why I started making this, I was thinking outside the box. I could not afford the core yarn for the traditional way of doing it. I couldn't get it in smaller bundles. So, and I really love this type of yarn and I really wanted to make it. So I decided to try making it with a single ply. And it actually turned out very nice. A lot stronger than a Corespun yarn. Now the Corespun yarn still gives off a different effect, and you have a better chance of getting a rough, uneven, textured and bobbly finish. The single ply is more even, so you have a more even yarn once it's finished. So this part you do need applying thread. I'm going to go with the 4-ply Merino sock yarn that I used in the second one. And there's not going to be a lot of meters, so I can get away with such small amount of sock yarn. These are like what you would use for the end amount on your cones after scanning them up and dyeing up yarn. So normally you're left with a little tiny bit left over. And this is the perfect type of yarn to use up the leftovers. I'm all tangled up. Then you tie that onto your leader. Actually, no. You tie it onto the end of your spun single, like you would plying. Like so. You're going to spin this anti-clockwise like you would if you're applying something. You want it to have a little bit of speed so it can coil onto it by itself. Like so. That's a good consistency. Now, to start, you can either have it pretty loose like that, or you can push it up and have tighter coils. Or let it feed on like so and you'll have fatter, fluffier coils. Just untwist that slightly, and then any sections that are a little bit open, I don't know if you can see that, let me know and I will zoom in a bit. You just push it up and fill in any section that shows the plying thread. You don't want that plying thread to show through. Like so. I might do it a little bit like this far away and then I will zoom in a bit. I might have to move the camera closer. See, the single's a bit loose. It's not tightly spun. I dropped it. I dropped it on the ground. So how is everyone today? It is a bit loose in that section. A little overspun here. You can't really get too much consistency when you're doing a single ply, like with tightness. It just makes it easier to make a night yarn if you don't have enough money to get all the other stuff that you need, like the core threads, etc. Busy day. It's been a bit like that. I've been a bit sick a bit for the last couple days. Trying to get this one out, but I've been a bit crook in the belly. I thought, oh, I will try get it out. This one shouldn't take very long to finish. Corespun's pretty fast. Oh, it's getting a bit loose here. It's not very tight. So what you do is you twist it in your hand and wrap it. And this is going to be like this the entire ending of this one. Which is a pain because it takes extra long to finish. And that's a lot of fibre to waste if you don't do it like this. What a pain in the bum. What? See, when you're doing it live, you can see all my flaws. Sometimes it just doesn't work out for me. Oh, this is... it's terrible. I'm going to stop it right there for this one. I'll use the rest of this for something else. Okay, to finish a Supercoil, you want to wrap the bottom of the last coil multiple times. And then run it down to your fingers, wrap the bottom, run it back up. Wrap it a couple more times, run it back down, cut it, and then tie it off. This is so you don't lose any of your Supercoil. Like so. And when I let that go, I've got a lovely finish. I'm going to take this one off and then I will start the next one. I'm going to put it on my little Kromsky, Nitty Notty. It's juggling match. I always lose it trying to put it on here. before I do anything, and I'm going to lose this, I will lose it. I want to try to do the same to the other side as that I did to the bottom. And without losing it off the thing. I can probably just tie a knot right at the end there, which I'm going to do because it's a lot easier. And none of this yarn, and none of this fibre goes to waste because I do put it in other stuff. Okay, dokie. My hand-eye coordination is not very good. Normally I can cut all this part out of the video. Now, you're not going to get very many meters when making this type of yarn. So it's really only best in weaving and couching, but embroidery, anything that doesn't need a lot of yarn. That wasn't very graceful of me. But there is the end results of the first one, of the single ply. Whoop. Right there. Pretty. For the single ply Supercoils, you don't have any core yarns coming through and sticking out, and I think it's a lot nicer finish. But I will do up the Corespun one now. I prefer with the Corespun to do the auto wrap. It holds it all together better. Thank you. So, but with the core, you do have a core yarn through the middle of it, and that can stick through. So this is the traditional way. Same thing, you want it to have a better speed, so it will coil on its own. This is a bit too fast, so I'm starting to lose the plying thread. I love auto wrap. Makes it look so pretty. Gives a nice texture to the yarn too. Much nicer finish too with the coils. Keeps it all together. But you get different textures, different size bubbles throughout. And I think the blending of the fibre is slightly different to doing the single ply. I'll zone out doing this. It's nice and relaxing. Good meditation. Let me know what type of yarn you'd like me to show next. If you want me to do more Supercoils, or do you want me to do something else. I have a big container next to me full of fibre that I've put into bundles and colour mixes, about roughly 100 grams each bag, that I want to do art yarns for these lives with. Supercoils are fun though. But if you want to learn any new other tricks and stuff, they'll have to be yarns that only take a couple hours to complete. Otherwise I won't get enough time in a live to be able to finish them. if you get a bit of fray, you just run it between your thumb and your finger to felt it in. I did see someone selling and showing that off, but they don't show how to make them. So I'm going to have to take a weekend to try and figure out the technique to make those. I don't know if I'll be allowed to share the technique or anything, because it's not very known about how to make it. Do you know what I mean? If it's someone else's technique and they haven't actually come out and openly shared it yet, I don't think I'd be allowed to. But I do want to learn how to make them. I don't know if the same applies to selling them either. I think until the original person comes out and shares the technique, I don't think it's polite to actually share someone else's technique. I could try probably figure out a similar style and make it my own, and then I'd be fine with doing it. Oh no. Same like the other one, it's starting to open it up. Open up. There's a huge amount. I don't want to waste it. It's just a little bit easier when a Supercoil with auto wrap does it, because then the auto wrap keeps it all together really a lot better. It's a lot easier to twist it. Yeah, well, they're called rosettas. The rose coils. Similar to beehives, but slightly different. Finished differently. I need to work out how exactly she did it. I have an idea, but until I actually get the yarn and try it for myself, it is anyone's guess. I'm going to stop it there because it's quite loose now. I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the other one, on the other end, on the other yarn, to fasten that coil in. So you wrap it on the bottom half a dozen times and run it down. It's a bit thick. So run it down and then wrap the bottom, run it up, all this is going to get discarded anyway when someone goes to make something with it. Tie a knot somewhere down the end here. So you should have your fibre, the flying thread, the auto wrap, and the core thread come through the knot. And you let it go. And all that super coil down the bottom is nice and tight and not falling apart. This is my own technique. I tried many different types to try and make this super coil stay, and this is the best way that I found that works. I'm going to put it onto my nitty noddy, and you can watch me try struggle to tie it up again. This one's got a lot more meters. I do find with core spinning, it goes a lot further than if you're going to do the single. I did separate this evenly. I probably only ended up with probably 2 meters, probably 2 or 3 meters on the first one, and this one is going to be around 6 meters. Ah, no! No, don't lose it. That's the only thing with this little thing. I don't like it that one side doesn't have the little raised bit, and then I'm always losing it. It just slips off. I'll count the meters when I'm ready to put it on the shop. I never have any problem with over twists on the electric spinning wheel. But this is pretty. Turned out very nice. You see the silk auto wrap? Very pretty. I will take pictures of these at the end of this video, and then I'll put them up on the community page. I'll also add these to my shop as soon as they've been steamed. I steam all my art yarns. It keeps the fluffiness and the coils just as you have spun them. If you put them in a wet wash, any of the art yarns, it felts it and it can flatten your coils. So I think that one turned out really beautiful, and it's so soft, and I would say it's probably my favorite out of the two. But I think the finish product, you get a much nicer finish with the Corespun yarn with an auto wrap than you do your single ply. But I do recommend spinning your single ply a lot more tighter, so faster, because it will fall apart on you. And you can auto wrap a single ply too, to help with keeping the single together. But in this one, I think the better finish is the Corespun yarn with the auto wrap. The community page is on my YouTube. You can look on my actual YouTube account, my YouTube page, and then it is one of the little tabs up the top. You'll have an option between home page, videos, shorts, live, playlists, and community. Or it would be something like page posts or something like that. But I put all the sneak peeks, the pictures of finished makes, anything that's coming up, and when I do the lives in there. And polling, I put polling in there too to ask what you're all interested in, and so forth. But this, oh, it's so pretty. They are so pretty and they are so soft. So soft. Very, very nice. Very happy with those makes. But yes, you will see a complete difference between the two, and then you can decide for yourself what you'd like to do, what you can afford to go with. But for core yarn and plying yarn, for just fall over. Core yarn and plying yarn, I like to use the 18 to 20 micron merino in a 4-ply sock yarn. It's strong and it's great for weaving projects, macrams, tapestry, that type of thing. So normally you get cones of 400 grams up to 1 kilo. And I just use the leftovers after I skein them up for Sock Yarn Club. Because you don't need a lot when you're doing Supercoil. You can use acrylics as well if you don't have the money to get sock yarn, because it can get a bit expensive. You can go to your local Spotlight or crafty shops and you can get yourself some balls of acrylic for your core yarns. You can also use it for your auto wraps. You can use cotton, silk, this type of stuff. I've used acrylics with sequins from Spotlight. You can use that stuff you can get from Spotlight for your auto wraps. I think that would be really pretty as an auto wrap. You can get normal acrylic knitting yarn for Corespun yarn, and the plying thread to finish your coils. So it really depends on what you can afford and or get your hands on. So I hope you all enjoyed this one. I will do up a couple extra polls on my community page posts asking what type of yarns for next week that you would like me to make. I have put aside many bags of different fiber and color, and with chiffon and silk ribbon with white, because I have a lot of white. I've also got bags of silk and chiffon with white. So anything that's in these bags will be carded up on the drum carder or made into bats or rollags first, and then spun up. I've got lots of different colors, black and red and white. I don't have a lot of, I don't have any color left for my merinos, but I've got lots of different ones. I've got lots of the real chunky jumbo kind of yarns, and the wrapped beehives with the fabric, Supercoils, and the slubby kind of yarns will be perfect for the live tutorials, because it doesn't take me very long to make. I can do them in 2-part videos. Anything thinner, with a lot more meters and a little bit of texture, that take a lot longer to make, will be on normal videos like always, only because they can take anywhere from 4 hours up to a week to complete. So I'm going to end it there. There we go. I'm going to thank you all for joining me. I will clean up the video a bit tomorrow once it's all rendered, processed with YouTube, and then I will put some shorts up. And tomorrow I have a live with my mum for the Mum and Me Creates series. We will be doing a bit more on our Under the Sea, but that should be the last one for that. And then we will be getting into doing something different. So we're looking probably doing stitches for beginners, because I'm still beginner on the stitching, and I need to learn some different techniques. And I suggested we do a scroll, and so that should be for the next lot. But this is mine. It's coming along. And I'm just adding more seaweed in the Sari Silk Ribbon to finish it. I'll probably do a little bit of stitching on the background. I do need to add coral, and I have a jellyfish to add tomorrow as well, or today, sorry, tonight, no, today, tomorrow, getting my days all mixed up. And then I may do a little bit more of this stuff here, because I think it looks a bit funny not finishing it off. So I'll do the border fully in this, and then I think I'm happy with it. This is going to be a book cover. So yes, I'm starting to like that. I'm starting to like it. Only because it's coming along and it's actually looking like an under the water theme instead of just a whole bunch of fabric. So yes, I'm going to go now, and you will see me tomorrow if you catch up with me, with my mum. Hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you so very much for joining me. If you have not yet, please come and subscribe to the channel. I do have over 300 tutorials on my channel already available for everyone. I do tutorials in many different types of techniques for making yarn. So if you're interested in anything, you'll probably find it there. There are some techniques that I'm still wanting to learn, like the Rosetta, rose yarn. That is so beautiful. I have to learn it. I just have to. I've been wanting to learn that one for a very long time. So yeah, if you want to see me do any more weaving projects, let me know. I could probably do some smaller weaving projects for live, like with the Weave It squares. I could probably set up my cameras and everything to show the wall hanging that has been on the wall for probably 8 years. I've not gotten anywhere close to finishing that. It's sort of a wall. It's like a wall decoration at the moment. I did find a box of unidentified projects and whips that I sort of started about maybe 20 years ago and never finished. So I was thinking maybe on one of my lives, like Craft With Me live, I should probably see if I can finish those. Maybe go through and share them and see if I could finish them. I don't know. I sort of start something and then I don't finish it. And then the yarns were the only things that I actually finished that I started. So, could be interesting. I do want to do all the crafts that I did buy stuff for and never got around to actually doing the craft. so I think that's why I started doing this, is to sort of encourage myself, push myself, and actually try new things that I've always wanted to do but never really had the time to do it, or yeah, but I think it should be fun. So yes, I'm gonna go now. I know I said that like 20 times. Oh, very nice. That'd be fun. Little coasters. I do want to get into doing tapestry. I already do tapestry on my um, knitter's loom for uh, my patterned um, woven shawls that I make with the diamond hem. That's a tapestry design. But I have a couple extra designs that I want to create over the next year or two. And I would like to learn how to make them into PDF pattern form so I can offer them to other people. But I'm not sure how to do that. So I think I've just got a couple extra things to learn how to do and push myself to actually doing it. Anyway, thank you so very much, and I know I've said this 100 times, but I am going now. So bye for now. See you tomorrow.